You know, we finna get into the thick of things, man. Oh, by the way, big game tonight between the Golden State Warriors and the Phoenix Suns. Basically, this could be like, a preview of the Western Conference Finals. Because at the end of the day, the Warriors look like they are an unstoppable force. But then again, anything could happen. But, we going to get back to boxing. So, I'll be at Devin Haney's fight on Saturday versus JoJo Diaz. Once again, tickets are still available. Like I said, tickets on the low, for as low as $58. So Bay Area, I know the Bay Area gonna be there. So let's show up, show out, behave, do our thing. Let's cheer for, what I'm saying, Devin Haney, born in the Bay Area. So, let's show some support for, Devin Haney, Bill, and everything. I got confirmation. I got my credential. So I got credential for this fight. So, I was going to go credential or not, but I happened to get credential. Thank you to Anthony Lieber with Matchroom for granting me a credential. So, what's up, Coffee? What's going on, man? So, yeah, like I said, got credentialed. So, can't wait to see this fight. It's going to be a good fight between Devin Haney and JoJo Diaz. A lot is at stake now, due to the fact that basically Camboso scored an upset over Teofimo Lopez, which I heard Teofimo Lopez deleted his social media accounts. Interesting. I mean, he might need to go see a shrink or something. One year, Teofimo barely. I had that fight. I had 8-4 Camboso. He won. To me, he won decisively. To me, I've never seen a person win like. Well, yes, I have. The rounds that Teofimo won, he clearly won. But the rounds that Camboso won, he clearly won. I mean, Teofimo was getting hit with hooks, overhand rights, getting hit with power jabs. I mean, if Camboso would have been a better body puncher, he might have would have stopped Teofimo. But nevertheless, I find it hilarious. That they're now hollering about robbery and all this kind of stuff when they was trying to insinuate Deontay Wilder was a sore loser and he was acting like a B and all that stuff. Who's acting like a B now? Freaking hilarious. I'm talking about you cannot make. But karma didn't hit Teofimo Lopez back. For some of that stuff he was doing, and some of that stuff, some of the stuff his dad was doing. Now he's sitting up here hollering about that they got robbed and all this kind of stuff, and he had an elbow injury and all this stuff, and he was saying Wilder need to quit making excuses, quit acting like a, which he never would say that to Deontay Wilder's face. So now they have to go running back to Top Rank, talking about we love Top Rank and all that. Well, okay, cool, but you going back without no belts. And then they sitting up saying they gonna move up to 140. They saying they got this master plan to have 3 pay-per-views. Against who? Oh, appreciate that. Then they talked about they got this master plan to have 3 or 4 pay-per-views. They talked about they gonna fight Josh Taylor. Well, that's gonna be disastrous for Teofimo. If he fight Josh Taylor, that's gonna be his last fight. Josh Taylor is gonna retire. When I say Teofimo is gonna get the ass whooping of his life, he gonna get the. When I say he gonna get the ass whooping of his life, that's gonna be his last fight. If he decides to fight Josh Taylor, when I say Josh Taylor is gonna put like a super ass whooping on Teofimo Lopez, it's not even going. I'm talking about it's gonna be. I'm talking about Teofimo That's gonna be one of them fights Teofimo daddy throw in the towel. If Teofimo don't get knocked out, his dad gonna throw in the towel. Josh Taylor is gonna whoop on Teofimo. And then they was talking about if they would have won, they was talking about possibly going up to 147 and fighting Terence Crawford for what? Yeah, Taylor will annihilate. That would be, man, that's a fight I don't even want to see because I already know how that fight gonna turn out. When I say Teofimo go get his ass whooped from pillar to post, when I say it ain't even gonna be a competitive fight, it ain't even gonna be a competitive fight. Teofimo can't do nothing with Josh Taylor. That dude can fight. I'm just keeping it a buck. When I say that dude can fight, that dude can fight. So nah. Teofimo, if he go up to 140 and he fight Josh Taylor, that's gonna be disastrous for him. I just think he confused by what happened with him. Because look, I'm just gonna tell you guys something as a media guy, and I'm not naming no names. A lot of these dudes some of these dudes, while they're taking L's, they just ain't training. Or they taking guys lightly. And if they are not training or half-ass training, they deserve to lose. I think the time frame, and I think the time that both fighters were out, I think it helped Kimboso a lot more than it helped Teofimo because he studied him. And it was so funny. You know, I was watching the other fight. I was watching Steve Fulton fight versus, Brandon Figueroa, which was a good fight. I hope they run it back. That was a real good fight. Yeah, I think he'd get beat by Lomachenko. I think the thing with Lomachenko, I think he got in Lomachenko's head when he said he was gonna knock Lomachenko out, but then I think he said he was gonna knock him out with the super. He almost did stop Lomachenko, but then again, styles make fights. Lomachenko has always had trouble with pressure fighters that push him back because Lomachenko can't fight going backwards. Lomachenko, whether he win or lose, he don't like running it back. Remember, he said he wasn't fighting again. He said, "Now we not," and he didn't want to avenge his loss. So I'm just saying, he didn't even want to avenge that loss. So I'm just looking at like I told you, I'm just breaking it down. I'm looking at who Lomachenko lost to. Look who he lost to, though. I'm just saying, he lost to a dude with double-digit losses. You know, no knock on him. Well, actually, it is a knock on him because he was supposed to win those fights. I mean, he got whooped on by Salido. When I say he got whooped on, he got whooped. So, like I said, you look at Lomachenko's 2 losses. He lost to a dude that lost his title to a mandatory. And then he lost to a dude with double-digit losses. So that's who Lomachenko lost to. He already has 2 losses in less than 20 fights. But then they had the audacity to put this dude in the same category with Floyd Mayweather, Muhammad Ali, Manny Pacquiao, Thomas Hearns, Sugar Ray Leonard, all those type of dudes. They had the audacity to try to disrespect boxing by trying to put Lomachenko in the same breath with those dudes. That was just, I mean, come on, man. So, yeah, just stop it. Now, like I said, we got the Take fight coming up Sunday. A lot of people would have rather him fight Rolly, and they're just not interested in this fight with him and Cruz. I gotta say this because, like I said before, I'm different from everybody else, and I really mean that. They could have replaced Rolly with Gary Russell Jr., and people would have had interest in that fight. Well, he need to be smoking something the way he got his ass beat. When I say he got touched up, man, he got touched up. So that's why I laugh. You know, I gotta say this, and this is what really bothers me. I don't like how Gary Russell Jr. is being treated by the PBC and Al Heyman and whatnot. I know some stuff happened between Gary Russell Jr. and Al Heyman, but man, for Gary Russell Jr. to be put on the shelf like he's been put on the shelf, that really bothers me. And this is what I'm saying. You don't see no content creators talking about how Gary Russell Jr. is being treated by another black man. But like I said, everybody was worried about what promotional company Terence Crawford was fighting with and hollering about he need to leave Bob Arum and all this kind of stuff. But nobody except me has talked about what's been done to Gary Russell Jr. It stinks. I don't like it. And it's sad that he's getting treated like this. Him and Al need to just call the truth. And Al need to put Gary Russell Jr. back in the ring. Gary Russell Jr. done missed out on some big fights and some solid paydays. Because I'm gonna talk about another fight that I would like to see Gary Russell win if he could get the opportunity. Well, there you go. That's what I'm saying. Gary Russell Jr. is not injured. You've seen him in the corner of his brother. And Gary Russell Jr. is not getting any younger. Gary Russell Jr. is 32, 33. And I hate what's been done to his career. Still don't have a marquee fight on his resume. As good a fighter as Gary Russell Jr. is. Well, he got a solid fighter. I mean, he got JoJo Diaz, but he have that guy. Now him sitting up saying he had 47 and fight Crawford, man, stop it. I mean, don't do that, Gary. Don't do that. But Tank, that's a good fight. But nobody cares about that Cruz fight. I'm wondering how this fight is selling. I'm gonna have to look online. I'm gonna look at this. What is it called now? The Cryptocurrency Center or some shit like that. It ain't the Staples Center no more. It's called something else, which it has a horrible name. But I'm gonna look at the seating chart and I'm gonna see how good it's selling. Now, Devin Haney, his fight against JoJo Diaz seemed to be selling fairly well. I think they have a set goal. You know, they had like under social distance guidelines, they had like 7,000 up in there. So I think the goal at the MGM Grand Garden Arena, I think they want to get like 9 or 10 up in there, which I think they could do. So I think that's the goal, is to get like 9 or 10 up in there. Like I said, that's solid numbers. for Devin, because at the end of the day, he's an up and coming fighter. You want your numbers to go up. Okay, so let's just say you get past JoJo Diaz, which I think Devin is going to win that fight. Okay, then Camboso said that he's interested in the Devin Haney fight. I think the sticking point, which may prolong the fight, is probably location, but Camboso is in a good position. He has a lot of options. You know, he has a lot of options. You know, you've been hearing Rolly talking about fighting Camboso. That ain't gonna happen, and I'm gonna tell you why. Camboso, if I'm not mistaken, is a Lou DiBella fighter, and we all know who Rolly is with. He's pretty much with PBC Mayweather Promotions, and we already know that Lou DiBella is at odds with Al Heyman over him allegedly trying to take Deontay Wilder to the zone and trying to make the Anthony Joshua fight behind Al Heyman's back. So that's not going to happen. I doubt very seriously if Lou DiBella will do any business with Al Heyman. So Rolly is probably out. I'm just keeping it a buck. Rolly is more than likely out. But that would be a funny fight, you know, based off Rolly's style and stuff. That'll be a fight. Whoever lands something big first is going to probably fight. But I wouldn't be surprised if Rolly landed when he knocked Camboso out. Then you had Short Stevenson. Well, look, Mauricio Sullivan changes his mind like the wind. He said, you know, 1 minute he's saying, dude is, I guess he ain't got his, I don't know. But Mauricio Sullivan, y'all already understand, you got to take whatever he say with a grain of salt. I know they recognizing him as the undisputed champion, but then they'll turn around, depending on who wins on Saturday, and Mauricio Sullivan feel like he can have another championship match, and they think this fight can make some money. Oh, they'll say, well, you know, he has to fight Devin Haney. Y'all already know this dude is known for changing his mind, so I wouldn't even worry about that, because Camboso already said that he want to fight Devin Haney. He said he's willing to fight Devin Haney. Like I said, dude is in a good position. You got Shakur Stevenson saying, hey, I'm willing to go up to 135 and fight him. So a lot of people think he easy work. That's what it comes down to. A lot of people think he easy work. But I can tell you this much. I done seen fighters like George Camboso Jr. They not as easy as you think they are. Because they don't do nothing special. But then at any given time, they could land a punch that could just change the whole outcome of a fight. You got to watch those kind of guys. They may seem like they fast. They not as fast as the other guy. They don't have the footwork. They don't have the skill set. And then all of a sudden, they have the perfect timing where they throw some kind of punch, and it changes the fight around, or it ends the fight in favor of the guy that you didn't think had the skill set to beat the skillful fighter. Because at the end of the day, it's boxing. So, you know. But I think the fight will get made. I think it can get made. I think it will be made. Now, it's all about the timing, when it's going to get done. I hope the fight could get made as early as I hope the fight could get made as early as May or something. So that's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping that the fight can get made as early as May or something, Cinco de Mayo weekend or something, or after Cinco de Mayo when we get that fight. Okay, so let me talk about this right quick before I end this stream. And I know some people gonna be mad at me, but ask me, do I give a damn? Okay, Errol Spence's trainer, Derrick James, was kind of contradicting himself. Well, not kind of. He was contradicting himself on 2 different interviews about why Errol Spence walked out of the arena basically the weekend in the day of Terence Crawford versus Sean Porter. You didn't hear various stories on why Errol Spence left the fight. Some is like, yeah, I don't know about this, and then some is like, this is BS. But Derrick James gave an explanation that had me like, okay, I'll listen to one interview where he said something totally different, and I just have to keep it a buck. But Derrick James been doing this with Errol Spence for a minute. He's contradicting himself on several occasions about this whole Errol Spence thing and this whole Terence Crawford thing. But like I said, Errol Spence's fanboys and his fanatics, they don't like to hear the truth, and they don't like to talk about the truth. And then they have an issue with anybody that criticizes Errol Spence. Well, I'm gonna criticize Errol Spence only boxing wise. I'm not finna talk about that man personally. I'm not finna personally attack the man. I'm only talking about this boxing wise, but Errol Spence been moving funny. Now, this information that was shared to me, these videos was shared to me by a full-fledged Errol Spence fan. He basically, and I ain't gonna say the dude's name because I don't want him to be harassed or whatnot, and I don't want people to be acting funny style towards him. So, me, myself, I don't give a rat's ass about people acting funny style, towards me. Like that song Yuck Mouth made many moons ago, fuck friends. Okay? But there's this interview where, okay, we all know that there was some controversy about Errol Spence, shaking the spot. And Errol Spence got ripped by a lot of different people. Now, of course, you heard every excuse in the book on why he left early. You had people actually blaming me and Bomac for him not getting in the ring. Oh, well, Bomac said he couldn't get in the ring. But Terence Crawford is the fighter. Terence Crawford make all the decisions. But you had every excuse in the book from his fanatics. Some of them was just like really out there. From, he contractually obligated not to get in the ring because it's a top rank. That is a crock of shit. He can get in the ring if he want to. I just heard every ridiculous excuse that could be thought of, and I was just like, man, are you kidding me? Really? But anyway, he been getting the shreds by a lot of people. A lot of people like, oh man, that was weak. You made this big hoopla about, I'm coming to the fight. I'm coming to the fight. Oh, I'm going to be at the fight. I'm going to be at the fight. There you come to the fight. You don't get in the ring. You talk all this shit about, you wasn't impressed and all that stuff. And you tweeted like, you should have said that to Terence Crawford. You should have said that to Terence Crawford. Why wait till you walk out the ring and tweet that you wasn't impressed? And a lot of people thought that was a weak move. A lot of people thought that was a weak move. Well, Bomac said that he couldn't get in the ring, man. Like I said, Terence Crawford make the final decision who get in the ring. And Errol Spence just came across it. He didn't want to get in the ring. And then he spent a whole bunch of time talking about Kenny Porter and all this kind of stuff. Well, what do Kenny Porter got to do with you trying to set up a fight. Now, keep in mind, and I'm gonna hold Errol Spence to this. Errol Spence said out of his own mouth, he said, "Oh, I want to go directly into a fight with Terence Crawford or Ugas." So let's see if Errol Spence stayed true to his word. But I'm pretty sure if he decides to take a 2-up fight, which I think he will, I'm gonna be right back here and say, asking that question. Why did Errol Spence say that he wanted to fight Bud next? Which I believe is cap. I believe is cap. But getting back to shaking the spot. Now they went to a boxing match and they asked, them about why they left. Okay, one interview, Derrick James say, well, they left because the fight was over. Okay. Then in another interview, he say, well, I told Errol Spence, don't worry about it. I said that I wanted him to leave in the 12th round. So that's why we left. But here's the problem. There wasn't no 12th round. There wasn't a 12th round. The fight ended in the 10th round with a stoppage. So I was like, well, what are you talking about, Derrick James? So he contradicted himself. But that seems to happen a lot. I'm like, wait a minute, what are you talking about? You left because it was the 12th round. Really? Oh, appreciate the donation. I'm just saying, really? I'm just keeping it a buck. So you done told two different stories. And see, this is what they do. That man said, I told him to leave in the 12th. And if you don't believe me, the interview is on Fight Hub. It's on Fight Hub. Then he do another interview with a lady because they had this triad boxing match, this new boxing that got like a ring that looked like a gigantic slice of cake or pizza pie or something. So they was at that fight. So then that's when he said, oh, well, we left because the fight was over. But you had people believing that you was going to get in the ring and challenge Bud. And then you walked out of there. And then tweeted that you wasn't impressed. And my thing is, once again, well, if you wasn't impressed, why in the hell didn't you go tell that to Bud? That's all I'm saying. Then you talking about, oh, I'm gonna go directly into a fight with Bud. Well, okay, we'll see. Because Ugas seemed to be preoccupied. They seem to put Ugas in some kind of tournament. So let's see if the next fight gonna be Terence Crawford versus Errol Spence. Now this came out of Errol Spence's mouth. I said it's easy to catch a lot of these people in ABS. Terence Crawford so bad. They want that dude to be the dude that beat Terence Crawford so bad. But the funny thing was, after his last fight, which by the way, he looked very impressive in his last fight, they asked him who did he want next. He said, I want Errol Spence. And nobody made a video. Absolutely nobody made a video talking about how he said he want Errol Spence. So I was like, okay, these dudes did expose themselves once again. Now, I promise you, if he had said, well, I want Terence Crawford, you would have seen everybody and their mama make videos. Boots hitters called out Terence Crawford. Would Terence Crawford accept the fight? I sat back. I didn't say nothing. I said, let me see who gonna make videos. Like I said, these dudes tell on themselves. They expose themselves. And like I said, I'm gonna say this again. I give a fuck about these niggas being mad at me or not liking me. I really don't. Because I'm gonna make it clear, I don't need nobody. I built my channel on my own merit from the mud. So that's real. I don't need nobody to solidify me. So I'm just keeping it a buck. If niggas got a problem with what I'm seeing, that's fine. But I already know, I know behind, I know what's up. People ain't feeling me. People ain't feeling me, and people mad because I speak my mind and I don't sugarcoat shit, and I'm not gonna sugarcoat shit. And that's just real talk. Nobody made no videos talking about how Boots Ed has called out Errol Spence. But like I said, I promise you, I bet you every last penny that I own, had he called out Terence Crawford, you would have seen several videos about Boots Ed has called out Terence Crawford. Will Terence Crawford accept the fight? But there were no videos about how he called out Errol Spence. That's what you call dropping the mic. Because see what's going on, they want, like I said, man, they want anybody that they think got a chance of beating Terence Crawford to be able to beat him. Like I said, it don't matter whoever Terence Crawford fight, they gonna root against him. If he fight Virgil Ortiz, these fake pro-black niggas is gonna be rooting for Virgil Ortiz. I promise you that. Just like if he would have got the Pacquiao fight, they would have been rooting for Pacquiao. I've been seeing this stuff. I've been seeing this for a minute. Like I told you, I don't work for nobody, and I don't get no check from nobody, and I don't have to ask nobody's permission what type of content I put out. I say whatever the fuck I want to say. Like I said, once again, I don't follow no script. So I'm just keeping it a buck. But that shit Derrick James said, that didn't make no kind of sense. One media outlet, you say you left because the fight was over. Then the other one, you said, well, we left because it was the 12th round. It wasn't no 12th round. The fight ended in the 10th. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Well, I told him to leave in the 12th. It wasn't no 12th round. The fight ended in the 10th round with a stoppage. Which, by the way, people said the fight was fixed. And that was like I said, that was one of the weakest. Like I said, that's why, you know what I'm saying? That was just so weak. That was one of the, like I said before, that was one of the weakest things I ever, that was just shameful. When and this was black people saying this. This was black people saying the fight was fixed. Because they felt that Terence Crawford did it better than Errol Spence. So they had to try to discredit the man by saying that the fight was fixed. And Sean Porter got too much pride, and he too deep in his religion to ever take a dive. But that was a narrative that they wanted to put out. Because like I said, the wrong guy, like I said before, the wrong guy won the fight. And this has been going, and like I said, this is what's been going on. And Derrick James just said some shit that like really did trip me out. Because I remember another interview when they said, well, Terence Crawford is not on the cards right now because he really don't have a storyline. So that's why we, like, what do you mean by a storyline? And I'm sorry. What does that mean? And then here's the thing with Spence. I'm not going to forget how Errol Spence refused to let Terence Crawford come in the ring when he fought in Dallas. But he let Manny Pacquiao get in the ring, but he didn't want to let the brother get in the ring. And everybody saw that, and everybody tries to dismiss that. But I ain't. I'm not. I'm going to keep bringing that up. You let the Asian Pacific Islander to say you would love to fight in Bud to see you fight and you want him in the ring. Saw him. I saw it happen. Keep in mind, you guys, I was at that fight. Shout out to my homie Carl Real too. I was at that fight. I was at that fight, and I was like, okay. You always hearing these obstacles that's like getting in the way. You know, it's always a new obstacle. You know, and then you hearing people talking about they the big fish in the pond, and Bud got to take 70-30 and or 60-40. No, we don't. No, we don't. No, we don't. 50-50 split. You ain't the big pond in the fish. I mean, you ain't the big fish in the pond when you only doing allegedly 300,000 pay-per-views. You ain't even hit 500. And Deontay Wilder then quadruple sold the amount of pay-per-views you then sold. So actually, Deontay Wilder is the big fish. But see, once again, nobody wants to talk about that. But I guess I'm cooning, right? Because I'm saying Deontay Wilder is the real pay-per-view star. Because Deontay Wilder, out of his 5 pay-per-views, I think 4 or 5 pay-per-views, did over, I think out of 5 of them, three of them did over 500,000. So like I said, technically Deontay Wilder is really the big fish in the pond because he's actually doing numbers. You ain't no big fish in the pond when you doing less than 400,000 pay-per-views. Now I know other people want to try to hype that up, but I'm sorry, that ain't shit. You not the big fish. You JJ's fish and chips. You know that franchise, you know that started in Chicago, you JJ's. Nah, you're not the big fish. You're not the big tuna. Cause I didn't know doing 200,000-300,000 was you know the new standard for saying you a pay-per-view star and you ain't even sold 500,000 pay-per-views. You ain't even went gold. And it just sound like it's cap. Just sound like it's cap. Because like I said, I gotta keep it 100. This hatred that a lot of these dudes, these so-called pro-black dudes have for Terence Crawford is just, man, it's just mind-boggling. You actually had people that was gloating that the Pacquiao fight fell through. All because he didn't want to do no interviews? You had people gloating. But like I said, you ain't no big fish in the pond, and you ain't even went gold. You ain't even went gold in pay-per-view sales, but then you sitting up there trying to talk about somebody else's pay-per-view sale. You trying to talk about Terence Crawford's pay-per-view sales. You ain't even went gold. You still on double wood. Okay? 200, 300,000 is double wood. Okay? You double wood. It's just like the record industry. You sell 500,000, that's gold. You sell $1 million, that's platinum. You sell 2 million, that's double platinum. You know what I'm saying? That for real, that's like a rap artist hollering about, well, you know, I should get a low, you know what I'm saying? Y'all on tour together, you talking about, well, I should get a bigger piece of the pie, or I should get more, you know, stage time, man, because you know, my last album went triple wood, versus his going, you know, both go get, you know what I'm saying? You ain't went gold. Hey, what MC Ren say on that song? Niggas rapping since the 70s and still never went gold. You three or 4 pay-per-views in and you still ain't hit 500,000. But you trying to talk up, but you trying to put down somebody else, man. Stop it. Boy, I'm gonna make some niggas mad today. But that's cool. That's cool. That's cool. And I want to say something else too. Before I end this stream, right? Yeah, triple aluminum. Like you sitting up talking about like, man, your pay-per-view sales is for real. Triple wood. Like for real. And you sitting up talking about you the big fish. You ain't no big fish. You JJ's Fish and Chicken. Shout out to Chicago, man. Shout out to Chicago. By the way, JJ's Fish and Chicken got some good ass chicken wings though. So shout out to, they got a JJ's in Oakland. Like, these dudes be cracking me up, man. How these dudes, and then these dudes that come on your channel. He's the bigger star. He should get 70-30. Shit. Bullshit. But to me, that just sound like a stalling tactic to me. I mean, for real. That's like, I mean, for real. That's what it sound like. You ain't even, you 3 pay-per-views in, you still ain't hit 500,000. Okay? For real, you 3 pay-per-views in, you ain't even hit 500,000, but you talked about you the big fish. How the fuck is 200,000 pay-per-views lead to you hollering like you some, like, man, for real? Like, you on some Ric Flair shit, and you ain't even Ric Flair. I mean, for real, you ain't, man, you ain't even Reed Flair. But I'm just keeping it in the buck. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I mean, Bud was on TV. Here's the thing. Bud had a deal with ESPN. But here's the thing. Every time Bud fought, he drew 2 million. He drew 2 million views. Every time he fought, people tuned in to watch Bud. And then the funny thing is, how come every time? So, and let me also prove to you that Bud should get, another reason why Bud should get 50-50. How come every time somebody do a video about Bud, they videos get bigger numbers? Whether it's something negative or positive. So not only is Bud doing better numbers, you know what I'm saying, on regular TV, he doing better numbers than Errol Spence on YouTube. Bud is helping a lot of these dudes make a lot of money. You say Bud don't deserve 50-50, but when you put up a Bud video, you sure get a lot of hits. You sure get more hits. You sure get more hits than you do talking about Errol Spence. All my Bud videos get more hits than Errol Spence videos. So how is Bud not more, you know, just as popular as Errol Spence? So I'm just calling bullshit. You see how easy I debunk that shit? Just like they always put out these narratives to see people mad at me because because they wanted me to follow that narrative that Bud hate black people, Bud hate black media, and all that kind of shit. People mad because I shut that shit down once and for all. I shut that shit down. I shut that shit down. So niggas can look behind, you know, niggas can sit up at home with their lips poked out behind their computer all they want, because like I said before, I wasn't going to do that. And I said it and I made it clear, and I told y'all I wasn't going to get involved in this Bud versus Errol Spence, and I wasn't going to let niggas like try to cause a wedge between the black community when we supposed to be celebrating these 2 black fighters and trying to get this fight made. And that's another thing. People was mad that I didn't go along with that shit. So now, you know, like E40 say, everybody walking with their lip poked out. That's from E40's classic song, The Element of Surprise. Everybody walking with their lips poked out. Surprise, surprise, surprise. The element Apply pressure. Shout out to E40, man. But yeah, for real, a lot of niggas out here mad with their list poked out because, like I said, I won't comply. Yep. And that's okay. I don't mind being ostracized. That's fine with me. That's fine with me. Shit. I'm keeping it a buck. But that's what this was all about. Like I said, I made it very clear. Like I told y'all, I wasn't gonna sit up here and try to, tear the black community apart like a lot of these fake ass content creators talking that super militant pro-black shit. But then they trying to tear down a black man and then trying to sabotage another black man behind the scenes. Trying to sabotage another black media member behind the scenes. Like I said, I'm too good. Too good. You know what I'm saying? Slicker than jet skis, man. Anyway, thank you for tapping in. Appreciate the love. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate the love. I got a long day. I got to get back to work, so I got to go work at another facility. Appreciate the love. Appreciate the support. Keep tuning in. Appreciate the donations, because like I said, I do this for y'all. I'm real with my shit. It's your boy Town Biz. I'm out.